Oop, here we go. Welcome to another episode of Applegate Outdoors Adventures. This is Phil, and I am glad you can join me. This is the Hellgate Canyon overlook on the wild and scenic Rogue River. Back in the 1970s, when I was a kid, I remember there was a TV show called Gunsmoke with Marshal Matt Dillon, and in one of the scenes he jumped off a cliff into the Rogue River, and I hear he did his own stunts in that, although I'm not 100% sure that is actually true. My earliest memory of coming out here was around 1968. I was about 5 years old. My parents used to like to come out here and take us kids to Indian Mary Park, where we would usually hang out for the day, go swimming in the river, have a picnic. Those were fun times. Over the years, in my younger days, I spent many a summer out here. And some years I spent the whole summer out here living in my van. Back in the 1990s, I spent a lot of time foraging, floating down the river, fishing, and picking mushrooms to make money. Yeah, I am in an area that got burned out a little bit here, and I'm going to go check out that ravine down there and see if there's any mushrooms growing in it. Maybe along that ditch too. So far I'm not seeing any signs of mushrooms. You know, we may have to turn this into a rock hounding adventure. A nice chunk of quartz there. Okay, the first fungus of the day. We got some brown burn cup funguses and some purple cup funguses and some black ones. Oop, here we go. I may get a little bit out of here yet. Well, there are definitely mushrooms out here. So most of the mushrooms that I've found are along this drip line, and looks like a fire trail. In and around where the ground has been disturbed is where the mushrooms are growing. So what I do is I look for mossy areas where the fire burned all the way down to the mineral dirt. Then if I see anywhere where the dirt's been stirred up, I check that area real hard. Now if I were to come back to the same spot in about 2 weeks, there could be 10 pounds right here. I didn't find any other mushrooms except for on this little trail right here. Everywhere else within 100 yards of this spot, there's nothing growing yet. But that could change though as the season comes on. Anywhere I'm seeing these cup funguses growing, I would guess a good chance that there would be a morel growing here soon. The burn morels also like to grow in these old mining ditches, although I've not seen one in this ditch yet. Early on in the season, I would expect to see the morels growing in the more open spots that are exposed to the sky, as there's where the ground will get warmer. As the season progresses and the ground gets too warm, then I would be looking in these shady spots like where I am at now. And off in the distance over there, I see a mushroom. Yes, a mushroom. Nice one. Okay, well, I will just follow this fire trail. See what it brings me. And I'm wishing I brought my boots today. At least I got my picking hat. Follow this around the corner. And hey, look at there. Little sausage. They're growing in the thick of the brush. Well, I haven't seen any star clusters yet, just a small handful here and there. They're just getting started. Well, we were not expecting any rain today. You can probably hear it hitting my hat. Wearing a hat out in the woods is important on a rainy day, especially if you're wearing glasses. As the raindrops get in your glasses and if your hair gets wet, the water drips in your eye, and it just makes finding mushrooms 10 times harder. So there's today's pick. About a pound. I wasn't going to come back up here, but today was Easter Sunday and my sister lives near here. And since I was visiting her, I figured why not head up here after we're done. I don't know if you can see those little specks coming down, but those are hoppers. They're like little mushroom fleas that grow in the mushrooms. Now I don't think they're actually fleas. They're about the size of fleas and they hop around. That's why we call them hoppers. We find these bugs in many different types of mushrooms. I've seen them in morels, matsutakis, boletes. I've never seen them in chanterelles though. For some reason chanterelles don't get bugs. You might have noticed I'm wearing my compass today. I almost always carry this with me whenever I go out in the woods and I'm not going to be within sight of the car. Today the compass came in handy because when I'm looking for morels in the early season, they tend to grow on one bearing of the hill. So when I found the first morel, I took that bearing to see what part of the hill I was on. And then when I went to the next hill, I went to that same bearing and I found mushrooms there too. I was going to go up further on up the creek and check a spot I know where there's some gem serpentine, but it's kind of getting late today, so I'm going to head back to town, and I'm going to do that later on in the season when the days are a little longer. So next week I will be heading up to the hills around Jacksonville and picking in my blonde morel patches. Check that video out. It will be coming up next. Thank you for watching. This is Phil with Applegate Outdoors Adventures. Have a good one.